So another major feature of KnowUML is the ability to practice drawing diagrams. Now this is a little tougher because it's harder to grade your drawings without a human involved. But if I go to, for example, a class diagram and I want to draw a class diagram, notice it doesn't show you a diagram. That's your job. You're going to draw it. What instead it does is it shows you all the different classes over here that you would be adding to your diagram. So you can do this in paper on paper and pencil, or you can do it in your favorite drawing tool, whatever one you want to do. I'm going to actually use Paint because it's easy and boring and not something I would really do to do UML. But I'm going to make it really big here and give you something to draw on. But for example, I could do it this way. So I have a character class. Well, let me draw out one class, and I'll have a novel class. I'm going to have a second one right here. And I could, start drawing stuff across here. And there's a class name, and then we'll create place for methods and attributes. And this might, this tool is probably not the best, but it might or may or may not be the right thing to do. But then I can put inside of here, character and novel. Now again, paper and pencil is totally fine for this. You don't have to do it electronically because I'm not grading it. You're going to be grading it yourself. What you're going to get credit for here is actually the time spent on this within reason. So if you do a level 1 problem and spend an hour on it, you're not going to get 60 minutes of credit for it. I think there's a cap at 15 or 20 minutes or something like that. But if you spend an hour on it, you get that 15 or 20 minutes of credit. If you spend 5 minutes, you get 5 minutes of credit. So there's a little bit of an incentive to take on slightly more complicated problems because then you get time and points. But we start here, and then we can keep adding in. And if you know UML really well, then this will be pretty easy. But you can just say name here. Oh, this is private, so I'll do a minus sign. Maybe accurate inside of here. And then we have a plus speak and a plus die. So characters speak and they die. And let's see what novel. Oh, there's more in the novel. So for novel, I have private author, which is a string, and I have public autograph, and I have private number of pages, and you'll get the idea of this as you go. So I'm going to leave it there. But you're going to draw your diagram, whatever the UML diagram is, based off the code you're seeing. The opposite of the coding item here. The coding, you take the diagram and write code from it. The drawing, you take the code and you create a diagram from it. And you draw it however you need to, and you add the items that you need to, and you whatever is as you're learning it. And when you're all happy that you've come up with the final diagram, then what you need to do, you absolutely must do, is you need to go click on that show answer button back here. So once you click on the show answer button, the timer stops. And it's not to say that you should just sit around for 5 minutes just to get the extra time, but you can. Not a very good use of your time, but you'll get the points either way. But you're not going to necessarily learn as much. So again, I will leave it to you to be honest within those things. What I suggest you do, though, is keep track of these diagrams, because I'm considering, and I might have already built into the class, a chance for you to be able to share these and present these and get even more credit for them. So keep these around, because the other thing I will say is if there's other concerns or academic issues or whatever, and you can pull out a library of where you've drawn 30 or 40 of these diagrams and just show them to me, I'd be like, wow, yeah, this other question really is offset by the fact that you've done all this work, that you've shown all these diagrams, hand drawn, or however you've done it. You can do it electronically as well. The most important thing is, when it comes to class exercises, quizzes, or even the final exam, you might be asked to be drawing some UML. And so you'll want to spend the time and practice this. Now, I've kind of delayed here a little bit to give myself an extra minute, so I'm doing exactly what I'm suggesting maybe you shouldn't do, but I want to show you. When I hit show the answer, okay, well now I have it. Now, is the diagram being exactly perfect? Not necessarily. I mean, novel is on top of this one and characters at the bottom, but that's just the way the tool generates it. Mine being backwards is perfectly fine. But I can check, okay, so character does have a name, and they speak and they die, so I did pretty well there. And I stopped here, but author and autograph and number of pages, I was on the right track here. So this helps, and probably what you can do is, have two different colored pens. Start with a black pen and switch to a red pen or pencil or whatever you want to do, and then add in the details that you missed ahead of time or circle them. Now, why do I tell you to do that? Well, by correcting your diagram, you're going to better cement these ideas in your head. By just simply looking at it, you'll kind of know what you did wrong, but by going through the motions of correcting it and writing it out again, your eyes will catch it better, your hands will be better trained not to make that mistake in the future as well. And so again, there's a lot of trust on this one, and I'm okay with that. You can get a good number of points here because you go to the badges. Drawing sequentially, spent times drawing sequence diagrams. I think 4 minutes. Okay, well that might be a bug there that I'll have to look at because I drew a class diagram. Um, yes, so I have the wrong one getting attributed there, but it wouldn't be in the grader probably. It's probably just in this one, but I'll try and fix that bug before it gets pushed out. But anyway, that is the drawing side of this. And so I'd like for you to practice that as well. It'd be great if you could be really well-rounded of reading and writing UML. And this is a great tool to let you get as much practice as you want.